So it takes anything that you consider a part of the cash deposit, which is everything that's listed here, your cash, your check, your credit cards, and it puts that into the total. So in this example, $750.71, and you'll see over to the left where it says total deposit, $750.71. It does not include that ending cash drawer amount that you keep in the drawer of $200. And it will show you this over short if you were over short, and then when you're completely done and you're ready to close this batch for good, you can click on the Save button down at the bottom, and this closes this batch. It'll come up and say saving this page will close the current batch. Do you wish to continue? And then you'll click on Close Batch to continue. It'll give you another warning in the Alert Center saying saving this page will close the current batch. Do you wish to continue? If you click on Close Batch again, that completely closes the batch and it brings you back to where you can open a new batch. You know when a batch has been closed if you see this screen of Open Batch. So at the end of the day, you're probably going to click on the Log Off right hand corner, and you're going to close your browser by clicking on the red X. And now we're ready to print out our sales journal on the back end. So the second part is printing out the sales journal for end of day. So if you are someone that does this, this will be done on the back room part of Rick's Enterprise. You'll go to Reporting, POS, and Sales Journal. And you can print this report out at any point in time. It doesn't have to be the same night that you close. It could be the next day, it could be a week later. We don't have to post sales in Rick's Enterprise because every time you do a sale, it's immediate. It's real time. It's automatically deducted from your inventory. It's posted to the sales history immediately. So as far as when you print your reports, that's completely up to you. So this brings you into the sales journal. Output method is PDF, which is the default, just report version. You have report options and report criteria. So if it was today and you wanted to print your sales journal, you could just choose today for the sales period. If you click on the drop down, here's all of your other options. Maybe if you came in the morning and you wanted to print yesterday's sales, you could choose yesterday. Or you could do selected dates and put in whatever date range you want. So many different options here. I'm just going to choose today. Then we have which tender types would you like to view. If you want to look at everything, you just leave that blank. You have, do you want to limit the tickets to? If you want to look at everything, we don't check anything. How do you want to control page breaks? If you want a page break after each batch, you'll check that. Include tax rate. If you want to include the tax rate, you'll check that. Additional sales journal options. If you do payouts and you want to include the payout details, you'll check that. And then if you want to include the sales tax summary, you will check that. Scrolling up, we have what sales types would you like to include? In most cases, every store just does store sale, but you might have some web sales if you do any sales on the web. If you do any telephone or catalog sales, then there's wholesale and invoice. If you want to check everything, it certainly doesn't hurt anything. If you know you strictly only do store sale, you can just check store sale, but something has to be checked in this field. Then we have, do you want to include the return code summary? So if you want to look at all of your return codes and the items that were returned, you'll want to check that. And then which transaction sale type do you want to see? If you want to look at everything, you can just leave that blank. Then we have the Report Criteria tab. All this is the store information. So if you're a multiple store and you only want to look at one particular store, this is where you can put that store number in. If you wanted to look at all your stores, you could just leave that blank. So since we're navigated to the top level on the right hand corner, I can look at all my stores. If I was navigated, say, to store 1, I wouldn't even see this because all I would be printing is store 1. Then when I'm ready, I just need to click on Add Job and Run. This will bring us to the report history, and then we can just select the sales journal. We can open it up, and this will give us all of the detail for the sales that we did. So you see it will give you everything that you need. The store, the date, the time, the ticket, what kind of sale it was, the salesperson, the cashier, the amount for the retail, the cost, the total that was tendered and how it was tendered. So you have plenty of detail listed here. The SKU with the size and if there's a width. And then you can get totals at the end of the report. If you wanted to go directly to the end of the report, you could click on the last page icon at the bottom. That'll bring you to the last page. Then we can scroll up one and we see the actual transaction totals and tender totals. Any void summary, all of this information. And this gives you your sales journal. If you want to print it out, you can just click on the printer icon and this will print that directly to your printer, your report printer. If you want to save this somewhere on your hard drive, you can click on Save a Copy. If you want to email this to somebody, you can click on Email. And if you want to search through the report to find something, you can click on the search. You can easily go between pages down at the bottom. If you want to click on Next Page or Previous Page, you can go to the first page by clicking on the first page icon or the last page. Or you can just use the scroll bar to the right and scroll up and down the report. So that gives you an overview of how to do the end of day between closing the batch, doing the reports on the report printer, the receipt printer, printing out your sales journal, and everything that you need to do when you close the batch.